Adolf Hitler called him the man with the iron heart. Reinhard Heydrich commanded death squads that murdered 2 million civilians, and in a single 90-minute meeting, planned the systematic extermination of 11 million more. He is often called the most dangerous Nazi who ever lived, the architect of a continent-wide machine of death. Yet this man wasn't stopped by a battlefield bullet or a strategic bomb. He was killed by his own car's upholstery. His obsession with control began with a public collapse. In 1931, Heydrich was a rising naval officer, until a tribunal discharged him in disgrace for seducing a young woman under false promises of marriage. For a man already haunted by childhood rumors of Jewish ancestry and schoolyard bullying, this public shaming was a breaking point. He refused to show remorse, instead choosing to bury any hint of vulnerability beneath a new, rigid identity. Within months of his discharge, Heydrich joined the SS. He traded his ruined naval reputation for a position where he could build a system of absolute authority, one that ensured he would never be the victim of a scandal again. Heydrich's first task was creating the SD, the Nazi Party's internal intelligence service. He didn't just want to find enemies, he wanted to map every secret in Germany. Heinrich Himmler immediately recognized Heydrich's organizational genius and his complete lack of moral restraint. He gave the young officer total autonomy to build his network. Heydrich's agents compiled files on everyone, enemies and allies alike. They tracked financial irregularities, personal indiscretions, and hidden family histories, turning human lives into a massive library of blackmail. The humiliated naval officer was now untouchable. By hoarding the scandals of thousands in his filing cabinets, he ensured that anyone who threatened his position could be destroyed with a single document. He had systemized paranoia. His personal fear of vulnerability had been scaled into a bureaucratic weapon that held all of Nazi Germany hostage. Heydrich soon applied this same precision to mass violence. He compiled the execution lists for internal purges, and later coordinated the nationwide arrests of Kristallnacht with a single clinical telegram. By 1939, he was directing the Einsatzgruppen, mobile death squads that followed the German army to conduct mass executions of civilians across Eastern Europe. This chart shows how Heydrich viewed genocide. He reviewed these body counts like production reports, monitoring his units for efficiency and searching for more industrial ways to meet his quotas. His system reached its peak in January 1942, when he summoned 15 senior officials to a meeting that would change the course of history. Over coffee and cognac, in a remarkably congenial atmosphere, these men took just 90 minutes to organize the bureaucratic machinery required to murder 11 million Jews. This high-angle shot shows the Wannsee Villa, the quiet lakeside estate where they finalized the logistics of a continent-wide slaughter between breakfast and lunch. Wannsee was the ultimate expression of Heydrich's worldview, a system so powerful and efficient, it could reduce the extermination of a people to a routine administrative task. To the Nazis, he was indispensable. Hitler appointed him the Butcher of Prague, where he crushed Czech resistance by pairing brutal executions with modest food and wage concessions for workers. Heydrich believed his system was so perfect that resistance was no longer possible. He began commuting to work in an open-top Mercedes with no guards and no escort, believing his own myth of invulnerability. He was wrong. British intelligence had trained a team of paratroopers, including Jan Kubisch, specifically to kill him. On May 27, 1942, they waited for him at a hairpin turn in the road. As the car slowed, a submachine gun jammed, but instead of speeding away, Heydrich stood up to shoot back. It was a fatal moment of arrogance. Kubisch threw a modified grenade. The blast tore through the vehicle, shattering the pristine, controlled world Heydrich had built around himself. A mechanical failure and a split-second decision had done what no one in Germany dared to do. They had finally breached his defenses. The explosion didn't kill him instantly. Instead, the force of the blast drove fragments of the car's interior, horsehair stuffing and leather upholstery, deep into his internal organs. The best SS surgeons in Europe treated his visible wounds, but they failed to see the invisible bacteria multiplying in his bloodstream, carried there by the contaminated seat cushions. 8 days later, Reinhard Heydrich died of septicemia, blood poisoning. The man who organized the most meticulously controlled genocide in history was ultimately taken down by the random chance of infected horsehair. The architect was dead, but his system lived on. It immediately lashed out in a blind, methodical attempt to reclaim control through terror. In the village of Lidice, German forces executed every man and boy over the age of 15. The women were sent to concentration camps, and the children who didn't meet racial standards were gassed. German engineers burned every building to the ground, bulldozed the ruins, and plowed the earth until the village was erased from the map. The assassins held out for hours in this church crypt against 700 SS soldiers before taking their own lives. They knew the cost of their mission, but they believed Heydrich was too dangerous to be allowed to live. Reinhard Heydrich spent his life reducing millions of human beings to mere numbers on a chart to ensure his own absolute power. In the end, his story serves as a reminder that no amount of bureaucracy can truly insulate a life from the random, unscripted forces of reality.